Yes.
So we call it to order.
No, not yet. We just put it on.
Okay,
So we're called to order. We really can't review the minutes because there's only one board member who was here at the time. And that's me, and I think we're okay. All right,
okay.
so then we move to the next item, which is the financial review of the claims of 2021. That's what we were just doing, looking at them. And so we can go down that and see if there's anything that stands out that you have a question about, okay?
Okay, that sounds good.
And what I try to do, like on Best and Krieger,
Mm-hmm.
when you see I have FEMA, CalPERS,
Right.
I put the largest invoices first. So
Okay,
those are taking up, the FEMA and the CalPERS are taking up the bulk of that. So
right.
just, for.
Thank you.
so know.
I understand that. It's,
Now, why are we paying so much to Wildan? What was that?
21,000 was for Ultra Systems, more environmental.
Oh, okay, very good.
Yeah, so that's the bulk of it.
Is that Buena Vista or San Diego Creek?
That's San Diego Creek.
Okay,
okay,
And then just regular engineering, Buena Vista, we had
Great.
some invoices in that.
Great.
That's about it.
great. Okay, very good. Any other questions, anything? Then you have the next thing, which is the San Diego Creek Via Vaquero, what's obligated and what's in progress there. And that in progress, is that the arbitration?
Yeah, if I did a little snapshot in there, if you want to, that's it, you got it right there.
Right,
No,
yeah.
up one, you have it, go back the other way. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's-
back.
right, I have that. Yes, I have that.
So I just did a little snapshot, so you guys kind of know where we're at right now. San Diego Creek, FEMA has obligated $1.111 million. We're expecting about 200,000 in overruns when you get the environmental and Wildan
Okay,
and everything. The next line down is we had 5 large projects. We've received 444,000 on the large projects, and there's 271,000 in overruns on the large projects.
okay,
Then if you drop down small projects, we have received the 836,024.46 on the small projects, and we have 525,000 that's in arbitration with FEMA right now.
So the overruns on Sandia and the large projects are not in the in arbitration, but that's going to be the same issue with the state.
Well, we're not sure. I think a lot of it hinges on the outcome of
Okay.
the arbitration that
Great.
we're in the middle of.
okay,
So I think if we are successful in getting some of that 525,000,
mhm,
it gives us a whole new conversation with Cal OES.
right,
Because I actually went there and met with them. That's what started this. First, they turned us down, they gave us 0. Then I went to Sacramento and I met with them face to face and said, this can't be,
mhm,
and let's work something out. They said, great, that's what we want. And then it came back 0 again. So if we win this arbitration,
good.
next time I have to go sit in Sacramento.
We have some clout.
I think
Yes,
so,
yes.
depending on how much of it we get
Get.
involved.
Okay. Okay,
Because it's an awfully expensive and time-consuming process. Well, for example, if we win it all,
mhm,
my opening comment to them on these next 2 is, are we gonna have to do this all over again?
right,
Why would the state spend this money? You guys don't have enough anyway,
mhm,
and us too. So why don't we just start at that number and give us all of it?
there you go.
If we get half, let's say,
Mhm,
then that's probably what we're gonna try to negotiate, right? That.
So with that being said, at a minimum, we're going to collect 2.391 million minimum. hands down obligated,
Okay.
we're gonna get it. This other column, 996,
Mhm.
that is in between closeout, arbitration, the whole enchilada. So if you add those two together, that's where I'm getting the 3.388 million.
Okay.
Is a possible that we could get. Right?
Right. Good. Excellent.
Yeah. Make it.
You know, and as I said before, Jim, you entries are largely responsible for this.
We worked hard, trust me. It's
Just
been
the
a
two of you have
killer.
been just really great about it. And Teresa, I know you put hours and hours into it and,
Thank you.
making and ensuring that the system that we have will continue to provide us with the information we need going forward. as well.
Yeah.
So we thank you for it. That's very good.
You're absolutely welcome.
Okay, audit update.
And so do you
Oh,
go?
by the way, let
with
me
the
ask you one other
railroad?
question. You mentioned FEMA. And what about any more money come in?
No, still 1.280
Okay.
million. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't think we're gonna get any more until we finish closing out the large projects
Okay.
and the arbitration gets settled, which it should be settled, what, they said within 60 days, and that was 10 days ago, maybe. So, we'll know something before too long.
Guessing late.
Did you want to go over this?
Yeah, just really
Go ahead.
quickly, since
Sure.
she's never seen
Right,
it.
I haven't
I'm
seen it.
not going to go over this really, because you'll get to see it, you can take it home with
Right,
you.
right,
But
okay,
basically what I do every month is give you another snapshot of all the money that we have in roadway rehabilitation. The
okay,
money to fix those roads out there.
right,
And
okay,
as you know, we're all in different zones.
yes,
So I have to track it as such. So you can't borrow from zone 1 if you're running low in zone 5 and vice versa. So you can see, primary 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
right,
in the total. So I will go through it right now.
all right,
But if we were to get all of our, at least not even our overrun money, if we were to get all of that $2.3 million, eventually return to us at the end of this FEMA project. Look at the very bottom line.
yes, I
That's
see.
going to show what you have in each zone.
Wow, okay,
So we'll have 3.118. Now, that's probably not, that's being, that's probably not going to happen. We're not going to get completely all of that, but we're going to try for it.
absolutely,
So, let's jump up to the next orange line before the
Okay.
bottom one.
okay,
Okay, if we were not to get any FEMA money, not a
Mhm,
dollar cent more, this is where you're looking at right now, and you can see primary is negative.
yes, I see that,
So we know we're going to at least get 1.1. We're going to get Sandy. It's obligated, so don't focus on that too
Yeah.
much.
okay,
So we're driving for the bottom line, and then we'll be, semi okay, back up to where we were before this whole disaster started,
right.
and we'll have gotten over $3 million worth of work done out in the field.
That's
So
wonderful,
that's a good thing.
that is a real good thing,
So
The other part of this is that I think a number of years ago, I don't remember whether this number is still valid, but when they looked at the unfunded liability unrelated to CalPERS, but for the roads, the cost to repair what needed to be repaired was about 18 million.
mhm.
That number about right?
Yes,
Okay,
and that's the paver number, correct, Teresa?
Yes.
yeah,
18 mil.
right.
Mhm.
Well, that's why the gas tax is so important.
So yeah, we've got 3 million on a good day, and we've got $18 million worth of work to do.
right, right.
So that's a hard pill to swallow.
It
Each
is.
way at that is
Yeah.
where
Yes,
where
Tim.
we get an opportunity there with the gas tax.
Yes.
Without that, it makes it very, very difficult. Okay. Anything else you want to say about that?
I don't think so. We'll
No,
talk it.
I
We'll talk.
understand
I
that.
know I'm kind of just going quickly, but we'll talk more about it when something comes up and,
Sure,
we'll go in more detail.
No, I understand it.
And like, also, I was talking to Jim, if you ever have a question, you want to know more about something, you can call Jim or
Right.
call me too.
Okay.
I'd be glad to talk to you.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, audit.
Audit, we're expecting the draft in the early part of January. And we're going to have them come and do their do the certified audit in February.
Okay, great.
So
Okay.
that's not going to change because by, I think it's the 15th or the 20th, I've got to have a bunch of transaction reports sent to the state controller. So the draft has to be done. So,
Okay, great.
yeah, so we'll plan on February for them, our auditors coming out and presenting the certified audit that we do every year.
Right.
Any issues with any audit that you think?
No, I'm surprised I've talked to them last week and I said, please, if there's any problems, if you need some additional paperwork, call me, and haven't heard a peep out of them.
Okay, now, this is their last year.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna go out to bid.
Okay, so we need to have an RFP then.
That's
Correct.
true.
When it's drafted, we did it 2 years ago.
Yeah, right.
So I have to take it off myself.
Right.
Change the date.
Because we're getting to the point where,
You know-
I mean, February comes, we only have a few months before we start, before June 30th.
Yeah, so what do you think is the optimum time to start getting this together and having enough
January.
time? Of January?
January, February, I
Okay.
get it out, maybe 30 days to be out. You know,
And then start getting them in.
and then maybe March with the proposal. And then I would say the May board meeting, appoint the new auditor.
Would it,
Board could be,
would it be appropriate, let's say we've narrowed it down to 3 that we like, to have them, or 2, whatever, I don't, and have them come to finance?
Yeah,
maybe?
that's what we did the last time.
Sound good?
We should do that.
Okay.
that's the way. So during March, between March and May, will be the prosecutor.
Mhm.
Cutting it down, interviews,
Mhm.
and then
Okay,
recommendation, and at the May meeting, that'll be the recommendation.
okey-dokey.
Okay, so that's, good. And,
Yes.
you have down here general sheriff on,
Yeah.
what is that about,
Where they at?
other than the number?
Where are you? What page are
I'm
you?
sorry,
on?
that was the investment policy, I apologize,
Oh, that's okay.
wasn't looking at the, okay.
So,
Then we have the LAIF investment statement.
and what this page here,
Uh-huh. Yes.
that if you took all of our cash, wherever it is, in their LAIF or general fund or
Uh-huh.
sheriff fund,
Okay.
we have, right at this point in time, we have $5.9 million
I see that. Okay.
total, everything. And as we always joke, our interest rate is just horrible, but there's nothing at this point we could do, which is a 0.20.
Mhm. I see that.
So I was getting, a year or 2 ago, I was getting $20,000 interest payments every quarter. Now they're like $3,500 every quarter.
Right.
So it's, but anyway,
Maybe we should explain what LAIF is.
Yeah.
This actually began in the very early days of my career. I was in my early 20s.
Mhm.
2 things happened. One is the birth of CalPERS,
Mhm.
which was a retirement system, and it was all the public agencies in California went together. The schools, as I recall, were running alongside of it. But I
Wasn't
think
it called CalPERS for the schools, for the teachers?
No, there are
CalSTRS?
stars. That's
CalSTRS?
State Teacher Retirement.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They've been around longer, I believe, because, I don't, but, basically, instead of having all the different schools have different retirements or whatever, they kind of joined together statewide. And then all the agencies, state agencies, some counties, all the cities, many of the cities decided to have a joint retirement system. And then running parallel to that was investment of funds.
Mhm.
Because every treasurer of, every city treasurer, every county treasurer, they were all out wheeling and dealing, buying CDs,
Yes.
all this stuff. So they found that it would be easier if everybody pooled it
Mhm.
so that, you could invest in more things and it would be safer. The state of California would handle it. So we're very restricted on what we can invest in.
Right.
And those restrictions have grown as LAIF has grown.
Yeah.
So I guess the position that a state treasurer would take is, instead of you guys wheeling and dealing, which is dangerous,
Mhm.
just put it in here. We'll do the wheeling and dealing, and there's safeguards. So should any of these investments turn sour, the state treasurer eats it rather than the pool.
Okay. That's good.
So over the years, it's evolved and has been determined to be very, very safe.
Mhm.
And you can move your money in one day. Because that's the other thing. Once you take the money out of our treasury and then you invest, there's time lags and problems can come up. So this way, it's just a simple wire transfer between our treasury and state treasury,
Okay.
and then you get the interest. And unfortunately, because
Very low.
the money isn't worth that much right now,
No.
their investment returns are not good. But at other times, like we say 5 years ago or whatever, this was fabulous.
Yeah.
Their return. So, but if we had every city around here, and also the district, the water district, treasurers, trying to wheel and deal, probably wouldn't get much better.
No. I
There's
think
really
so.
nothing you can invest in that gives you much of a return nowadays.
That's
Whether you're a
correct.
private investor.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the history of what this is all
All right.
about. And unfortunately, you're coming into this and it doesn't look so great.
No, it doesn't,
But
but that's
that's why I
gonna
thought
change.
the history, though, if you look back on it, this has been very favorable to
Okay.
uh, the government agency in California.
Jim, I think it was more than 5 years ago.
When it was really good,
Yeah.
well, it went for
So
years
just
and years.
a little bit, a couple of years ago to like 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really good. I'm just saying, really good to me is almost 10%.
Yeah,
That's what,
Yeah.
yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but it never was that.
but didn't it always run in the 7s and 8s?
I have no idea, but ever since I've been on the board, in my first time, it was very low.
Yeah.
In fact, it was so low that we looked at the alternative.
Going to somewhere else.
That's
that
right,
was-
and it was essentially the same thing, and the advantage to this was the ability to move the money
Yeah.
efficiently.
Yeah.
The other one wasn't quite as good. Percentages were identical pretty much until we didn't change it.
Yeah, I can call at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's in our account by 11.
Oh,
Right.
that's good. Yes,
So
that
there's
means a
two.
lot right
Yeah.
there.
So-
And it doesn't pass through hand.
Right.
Right.
Electron.
Right.
Mhm.
So anyway, it is what it is, and the alternatives for us are not any better. That's the way it is.
Mhm.
So anyway,
Just one more thing I wanted to say too is, just so you know,
Okay.
when we have our next board meeting,
Mhm.
as soon as the minutes are signed, I'm gonna be sending them to the bank. Soon as she gets those the next day, all 5 of you guys are gonna be signers. So for until the next board meeting, you are our signer.
Okay.
who's
So,
going to co-sign the check with Best and Private?
good question. Good
What-
question.
Is Debbie a signer?
No, I have all her paperwork. remember we decided, okay, we knew all this was coming. Let's wait, because if she went down, it would generate everybody having to do a new SIM card. So we said, okay, let's just wait. So, yeah, there's,
Just tell them to wait,
okay,
tell them to get it out to them.
yeah, no problem. I'll do that. I knew that was in there.
Well, I looked at it and said, we need a cosigner.
Yeah,
That's a problem.
We, last year, we passed the motion that, I think it was last year, that, the limit used to be every check had to have two
two
people sign.
signatures.
We changed that to a limit of 25,000.
Okay,
So yeah, any check over 25
Yeah, but
requires
two
two
sign-
of your signatures.
Right.
So I know Robert's been awesome about doing all this, but how do you feel about maybe once a month or
coming
twice a
down,
month coming down and signing
I have
checks?
no problems with
Okay,
that,
well,
Teresa.
I'll try to
No
try to
problem.
not keep it crazy, but
Yeah,
give you a little bit of break once in a while, but not anything crazy going
Right.
on. So if you're okay with that,
There's no problem.
okay.
Okay, anything else related? Jim, you have any reports on anything that, any changes? We'll need to go over anything that hasn't changed. Looks like San Diego Creek, they're moving pretty quick.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they're ahead of schedule. And things seem to be flowing very well. We have a project manager, Jason, who is a Willdan employee, but he's assigned to us right now. And he runs everything, and all of the soil samples and type of rock they're using and where the forms are laid out, all that stuff he signs off on. And I'm monitoring it because they email it. Everything is like in writing,
that's
but
good.
it's not the old kind, the carbon paper and all that. They just do email them. So almost every day there's, our approval of the work that they're proposing.
Okay.
The detail, all the little details.
Mhm.
But then there's also the inspector who is out there, and the project manager isn't there full time. But any issues with us being the client and the job go through the construction manager.
Okay,
There's an inspector, and he's like a building inspector, except that he's there all the time. So when they're pouring concrete or they're building berms or any work that's being done, he's
he's watching.
overseeing that. And both have proven in the last, I've been with this 3.5 weeks, something like that. You can tell they're very much on top of the
Good.
game and the job.
Mhm.
So my comfort level keeps, increasing. I'm getting all the reports about the contractor and his team. So, Teresa, have we had any other issues? I mean, little things come up,
Yeah,
but
little things, but they get taken care of right away.
some of the neighbors, there have been some issues. But they've been dealing with them out in the field,
Okay.
or they come here once in a while and talk to them. But yeah, no, I think it's good. And then, we really haven't had a good rain in 2 years.
Right,
And so,
except for the other day.
Yeah.
well, yeah, so the other day wasn't, nothing for the record book,
Right,
but it impacted us more significantly, more like a record-breaking rain,
mhm,
just because we haven't had rain in so long.
right,
So there have been scattered problem areas that our team, Pedro and Dustin have been on top of. But normally we would call outside contractors in to help them. But we're using Marietta Construction because they're already here.
sure,
They've got
And-
their equipment up there.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
equipment's there, because that's the biggest necessity for calling out private is that they bring the appropriate equipment with them.
Mhm.
And we don't have, a lot of the equipment. And for example, the other night, there needed to be some welding. We don't do welding,
Mm.
but Maria has somebody who got, their rig and boom, got it done. So that's been very convenient. And also there's an issue today about needing some riprap between some pipes and a driveway coming out. Well, it just so happens our inspector, he was chosen for this job because his area of expertise is like water flow.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna send him up there to take a look at it, like as an advisor,
Mhm.
and pay, outside of the FEMA contract,
Sure.
for him to give us some advice. So we're trying to take advantage of the resources we have because of the bigger project
Oh,
and
absolutely.
get some of these other areas taken care of. And then there's issues because like the one that you've seen, I know on Sandia Creek, where they've done grading and they've replanted their grove, and it just so happens our pipe catch basin below it got overwhelmed.
Mhm.
Well, it's because the soil movement,
Sure.
so we're gonna have to come to some arrangement with property owners, reimburse for at least their share of it.
Mhm.
So it's been busy the last week because of this first
Right.
rain. It'll be busy again this week because of what's coming.
Yes.
But it seems to be once the ground gets saturated and all the debris been washed away, then as the season goes by, there tend to be less problems.
Oh, that's
But right
good,
now,
yeah.
there's a lot going on.
Mhm.
Unless we get, like we did, in that.
Yeah,
Yeah. 8 inches in one day.
Yeah.
That would be not a good thing.
We keep our fingers crossed that it's not this year.
Right. Okay, the other thing is, maybe Teresa, you and Jim could get us it was a document some years ago, not too long ago, regarding CalPERS. And this was a consultant that sent us that document. Do you remember that?
Yeah, Elizabeth Sappy.
Could be. That's the one. Maybe you can get that to us. to
I
take
have
a
it
look
in
at.
my email somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, maybe we can,
Next time.
explain this in a minute, but maybe we can look at that in the interim and then maybe have a bit of a discussion and see where we want to go with that. The
Okay.
issue is that the state retirement is in arrears, frankly. So, we pay interest on what we owe them, and it comes to about 90,000 a year, right? And one of the things you can do is pay it off.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to look at that. And the real reason to look at it and what to think about it is because if we were to no longer function,
Mhm.
and then the employees here would lose a substantial amount of their retirement.
You don't want that, no.
Right.
No, no.
So
So by paying it off, that would,
that would alleviate that.
Okay.
But when you look at this and you read it, there's the other issue is you not only have to pay what you owe, but you have to go pay forward too. So the interest you pay is because all of these things are paid in the future, there's an amount that you have to pay going forward. I don't quite understand that, but it makes the amount, instead of, $1.5 million, it may bring it up to almost 3 million.
oh my goodness.
So it's a real issue. So we just need to look at it and see if there are options that we can.
Would you like I can get all the documentation out and then put it on our agenda for next month?
I think that would be a good idea. But don't overload us. because
No.
It is,
It's very
there are a lot of
It's a complicated
complications here.
Is it very complicated, the CalPERS?
When you see the report, you'll see.
Okay. All right.
And what we need to do is that consultant come back and talk to us about it. So this isn't a thing I think we do in one meeting. we did look at it some years ago and decided not to do anything.
Mhm.
In fact, our auditor even recommended that we not do anything.
Mhm.
And I actually told us that, if you recall, and that they just continue. I think
I don't think in his forward thinking, he's not thinking that, 10 years down the line, what if this place ceases to
Mhm.
exist? I don't think
Correct.
that was in his mind.
that's correct.
But yeah, it would be fun if we know we were gonna keep functioning
Sure.
decade after decade, but you never know.
So anyway, that's the thing we have to go and deal with. And, the option to pay it all off at one time may be too great for us. Maybe that they make some other
Mhm. Mhm. I'd like to learn how that operates. I've never heard of paying ahead of time, paying forward on an amount that hasn't even been paid out. So it'd be interesting.
Right. And I didn't quite understand that, but it raised the amount substantially as a result of it.
And then that 100,000 or 90 something, which is about close to $9,000 a month. You'll hear me particularly refer to as our hidden or our secret employee.
Mhm.
Because when you do the payroll every month, there's the money taken out for, the retirement.
Right.
But then there's this other $8,000.
And when
So
funded
when
by
you look at our payroll, it
Mhm.
looks like we have another $100,000 or $90,000 expense in a year.
Okay.
But that's just paying CalPERS for the interest on our unfunded liability.
Okay.
So basically,
Goodness. Okay.
CalPERS
Mhm.
invests money in order to pay the retirement.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So when the system went upside down 10 years ago or whatever, it was all in the paper and everything.
Mhm.
They essentially took their customers like us
Mhm.
and said, well, for us to pay all these retirements, it takes more than you paid in.
I
So we're going to
understand.
make you a loan. So we
Okay.
became not only
Okay.
a customer, but what would you call it? An investment.
Mhm.
Okay. So they know we're great customers. We're customer because of our employees.
Gee.
Like
But-
7% interest.
We're an investment because they know we're always going to be paying our
Yes.
bill. They go buy a skyscraper building.
Mhm.
When times get bad, they may not pay their mortgage.
Right.
But it's
Right.
first.
They know.
But with all of us, all the cities and the districts, that they're going to be getting that money back every month. So
Mhm.
it kind of saves the retirement system by doing it that way. And that's a very simplistic
Yeah.
explanation of how they fixed their system for the
Mhm.
time being.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
so if you were to say, hey, you could just take the whole thing off, not only would it protect the employees, but it would also eliminate your secret or hidden employee every
Okay.
time you make payroll,
Right.
because you're having to pay for your unfunded liability too. So yeah, it's a hard issue to explain.
Right.
We also went to an annual payment for the interest as opposed to monthly, and that
Oh, did
saved
you?
us about 10,000, right?
Oh,
No, it
that's-
was only actually 46.
Only about 5,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
I'd have to look at it.
That's right. No, you're right. That's right. That's what it was about that. And that's the other thing we did save a little bit.
That's good. Anything you could save.
Mhm. Okay, I think that's it. Anything else, Jim? No, nothing new on the gas now.
No, it just came in, the next stage we're going into now, we're gonna approach the county. And ask the board of supervisors to, include us in the maintenance program,
Mhm.
which, is kind of the crux of the whole thing.
Okay.
Is when we were set up as a district, with basically with Prop 13 and everything, the board of supervisors said, you take these roads, you pay for them yourself, tax yourself, and they're all yours, okay? What they need to do now is they need to say, you're operating as your own district and you're taxing yourself, but you're still part of the county maintenance system.
Okay.
So basically, 99% of all county roads in Riverside are maintained by those orange trucks.
Right,
So
right.
Riverside County Public Works.
Mhm.
But 2% of the roads are part of a special district created by the county to maintain roads. And they say Duluth Public Works, whatever.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
For the purposes of gas tax, we qualify because we're a county road, but it's just maintained by a different color truck. They've never recognized our color of truck.
Okay.
And by doing that and saying it doesn't matter who's, maintaining it, it's still a public road, made public by the county. Anybody in the county can use it.
That's true.
Therefore, it qualifies for gas tax. And so that's kind of
That's where you
the
are
way
right
we're
now.
going at it.
Okay.
So what the package is, we met with the supervisor Jeffries and said, okay, now you finally see it our way. And you're going to recommend to your colleagues that you take these actions, which you could have done 40 years ago, but we're going to do them now. And so how should we proceed? And he said, well, you've got a private law firm who work a lot quicker than, what the county has. So why don't you propose it? You make the package and I'll carry it to the board of supervisors. It'll be quicker and easier. And so the board agreed. So we've asked BB&K to prepare it. And it just came in moments ago.
Oh, all right.
So that will be going to Supervisor Jeffries probably in a couple of weeks. And then hopefully it's good enough that he can just take that right to the board,
Okay.
as opposed to going through all the bureaucracy.
Yes.
Yes. So and in fact, just looking at it, there's resolutions that are prepared and other legal documents that are prepared. So hopefully they can just review them, make any comments, changes, and then it can go right to the board.
That'd be
Because
good.
our deadline is every year, you have to submit by, say, as by April 1st, the miles of road that you have if you're a county. Because you've got, all these new subdivisions,
Sure.
okay, which are adding miles of road. So it changes. And so every April, or it's May 1, the state controller takes all 58 counties, what their total number of roads are. They add them all together, and then they divide them a percentage, and that portion of the gas tax based on miles of road gets paid out
Okay.
for the following year, starting July 1.
Oh, okay.
So the reason I'm giving you this
No,
detail
yeah.
is that is the deadline we're operating under, because if we don't get this package of information adopted by the board and up to the state controller, by
We'll
May
lose it.
1, it's another year's wait. And it's about $1 million. We don't know exactly because they haven't run the calculation with our 86 miles in it. But that's my estimate of
Okay.
about what it's going to be. And so the heat is on as far as the timing now, that this has got to get done by them.
Sure does.
soon.
Yes.
So, and that's why we went ahead and did it ourselves, because it would have been another 2 years. 3 years.
No. That's, no.
And the supervisor knows that. That's why he said, if you'll do the work on your end, it'll go a lot quicker.
Anything else? Otherwise, we will hold the meeting adjourned. Okay, we're adjourned.
All right.